everybody and welcome back to my safe space. I hope everybody's safe and well still and not finding quarantine too hard, and I hope if people are enjoying the new lower restrictions that everyone's staying safe and well. I'm sorry that I haven't filmed a video or uploaded a video in about 2 weeks, but I've actually moved into an apartment with 2 friends for the rest of lockdown, so I've just been moving in and adjusting to that and settling down really, and I've not really had a chance to do much filming because we've just been getting all sorted here. But we've been here for about a week now and we're completely settled. We've had a lovely first week and I'm looking forward to the rest of it. So I'll insert a little montage of the first week that we spent here now, and then I'll get into the video. My friends that I'm living with don't particularly want to be in the vlog, which is absolutely fine, I understand that. So instead of it being a full like daily vlog taking you around my day, I'll just insert a few clips that I filmed throughout the day, and then I'm also just going to answer a couple of questions that have been sent on Instagram. If you do enjoy seeing like a few little random clips of my day, or you want to see more like vlog videos when quarantine's lifted and I can vlog fun things that I'm doing, do let me know. And at the same time, if you prefer sit down question and answers or videos on specific topics, I'm happy to do that as well. Just DM me or comment underneath or something like that. So the first thing I did this morning when I woke up was just had breakfast, and I didn't film my actual breakfast, but I did take a little clip of my iced coffee just because it looked nice. And then after my breakfast I had a really nice pamper session and I had a really lovely bath. I took a little clip, so I'll put that now. So I'm just gonna have a little pamper session. So I've run a bath and I've used the bubble bath that I've mentioned in a video before, the Aldi one, and then I've got my scrubber that I've used, and then I got these yesterday that I'm gonna try out. So those Garnier products that I did show in that little clip from the bath turned out to be so nice, because I've had the Garnier sheet masks before, but usually you put them on and they're already soaked, like when you get them they're pre-soaked, but this one came with the liquid and the mask separate, and then you soaked it yourself, so it was really fresh when you put it on, and it did make my skin feel really nice afterwards. And I used the eye mask as well, and then I used the Ordinary skin peel that everyone's using at the moment. I still love that, and then the Garnier scrub that I've showed in another video. So that was a really nice pamper this morning. Then once I was out the bath, I went and just had a little catch up with my friends. Obviously we're living together, so there's not much to catch up on, but you know, just went and sat back in the living room and had a cup of tea, and then we watched Princess and the Frog, which is honestly the cutest film ever. I forgot how much I loved it, and we've just been loving Disney Plus the past couple of days. So we watched High School Musical 1 and 2 yesterday, and then we watched Princess and the Frog this morning, and they're so good. Honestly, High School Musical is a lot more cringy than I remember, but I still love it. And other than that, generally in the day we've just been chilling. We've literally only been on like one walk in the whole week. We've done a workout, and other than that we just basically chill in the day. I don't really have many plans for the rest of the day. I'm going to go and see my cousin socially distanced this evening for a walk, which will be really nice because I've not seen her in quarantine. And then after that I think we'll probably just make dinner here and relax for the evening, probably play a few drinking games because that's how we like to spend most of our evenings. But first I'll just answer the couple of questions that people sent me on Instagram, because I said that this was going to be kind of like just catching up on what I've been doing the past couple of weeks, and then I just said if anybody wants to ask me any questions, feel free. So I've got a couple here to answer, and then yeah, I'll just take you through the rest of my evening, and then I'll get back into doing sit down videos and question and answers and stuff like that now in the next couple of weeks. So the first question, don't know why I became Australian then for a second. First question that quite a few people have sent me on Instagram and stuff recently is how to not worry about social anxiety when you've been so used to being on your own, and how to sort of prepare ourselves for re-entering back into social gatherings and big groups once we are allowed and once it's safe and everything. And I really understand this question, because I think if I was still at a point where I was struggling with crowds and stuff, I'd find it really hard to have been away from that for a long time and then get back into it without feeling anxious. So the first thing I'll say for that is that just so many people feel like that. I can honestly say about 5 people have asked me that recently, and it's just so understandable. So don't feel like you're the only one who's worried about re-entering back into normality, because it's not a bad thing that you're nervous about it. It's sensible in a way, because obviously things are different. I think the best way to get over a fear of re-entering into a big crowded space or something like that is to just do it so gradually. So even for me, when I had generalized anxiety and I just didn't like crowds at all, I had to make sure that when I went out, I knew that there wouldn't be a crowded space, and I knew that I could leave a room if I had to, etc. So I think having like plans in your mind like that, where you think, before I go out, I need to test the waters. Where do I think I could sit in this room where I feel like I could leave if I wanted to, but I also feel like I'd be happy to sit there and I wouldn't feel too overcrowded. So having little plans and working out exactly where you're going on a night, or exactly where you're meeting your friends and stuff, making sure that you try and go at a time as where, obviously it's hard to judge, you can't always know how busy a place is going to be, but just try and make sure that you think about the area where you're going to, and you think about how busy somewhere will be before you go, so that either you go at a different time where you think it might be less busy, or you think you might be more likely to be able to sit next to a door or a window, and B, it kind of mentally prepares you so that if you go, you're not shocked if it's busy, if that makes sense. And I know it sounds like that's really poor advice, because even if you're not shocked that it's busy, it could still make you anxious. But from my perspective and from my own experience, if I tell myself that somewhere's potentially going to have quite a few people in it, but I remind myself of the fact that I can leave at any point, and if I want to, it's not embarrassing to leave if you're feeling a bit too crowded, and that even if somewhere's busy and you're not near the door, in the matter of a minute or less than a minute, you can be outside, you can be back in the fresh air, and you can start to calm back down. So yeah, that'd be one of my biggest pieces of advice for that. Just plan ahead, think about where you're going, prepare yourself. And another suggestion, which might seem a bit more obvious, is to make sure that you are seeing people, but only gradually building up how big the group is. So I think it's really important that as soon as you can see people and as soon as it's safe, it's important that you do, just so that the fear of it doesn't grow and grow and become a bigger thing. But I would also say maybe if you start off by meeting one person, and then once you've done that a couple of times, maybe meet like 5. Obviously this has to be following what the government tells us as well. This is only hypothetical, because obviously we're not allowed to see loads of people anyway yet, but just hypothetically for the future, maybe build up and then see like, but go from like 1 person to 5 people, 5 people to 7, 7 to 10, and then gradually your tolerance to crowds and your acceptance of the fact that you might feel a bit claustrophobic at first, but it will settle, will naturally come. And obviously that's very different for everyone, because everyone's social anxiety can come in different ways, but from my experience, that's what's helped me the most. The second question I was asked was how to stay motivated or find motivation. I think this is really different depending on what walk of life you're in at the moment. So for example, when I was doing like exams that I just knew I had to do, like my GCSEs and mocks and things like that, I really didn't want to do them. I wasn't very interested in it, and I wasn't one of those people that got a lot of satisfaction out of a good grade, or I didn't get a lot of motivation out of a bad grade. It just wasn't really something that I could easily find motivation for. The only thing that really made me think I might as well just work like as hard as I can at the moment towards exams is the plans for afterwards. So if you're in a position where you've got some work to do and it's something that you're not that interested in, but you kind of feel like you have to do it to get on to the next stage of life, I would just recommend making as many plans as possible. And even if the plans have to happen in quarantine, you can still have a lot of fun from your home. So make sure you write down a list of fun things that you'd like to do, whether it's at home or whether it's whenever we're allowed out. And then whenever you're struggling to work or struggling to find motivation to do anything, whether it's like exercise or work or anything like that, make sure you just have a look at the list and it'll spur you on. And I always keep a quote in mind, which is from Grace Beverley's Shreddy app, that said, the time's gonna pass anyway, so you may as well make it count. So for example, if you're looking at loads of work and you're like, oh, I really don't want to do this, but then you look at like a plan that's in like 3 weeks and the exam or whatever it is will be over by then, if you just think to yourself, the time between now and having fun is going to pass anyway, so you might as well make this time count so that that time is more enjoyable. I think it is slightly different depending on what part of your life you are in though, as I said. So for example, for me now, I've not got any exams because my A-levels are cancelled, and I don't have any up and coming things that I need to really work very hard for at the moment. So motivation for me is just things like trying to motivate myself to do exercise and things like that. And I think the only way you can really truly motivate yourself to do something is by being so kind to yourself. If you judge yourself based off your productivity, or if you get angry at yourself for not doing something, or you get frustrated and you feel like your self-worth is being affected by not doing something, it's going to make wanting to do it even harder, because it kind of creates a bubble of negativity around that thing that you want to do. So for me, if I tell myself it doesn't matter if I don't do this thing, if I do it, it's going to make myself feel good, so I can do it to make me feel happy. But if I don't do it, I'm still a good person, I've still got other things going for me. And for me, that just makes me feel like the choice of work and the choice of effort is in my hands, which makes me want to do it more, because I want to prove to myself that I view myself as valuable and worthy, and I view myself as deserving of having time spent on myself by me, if that makes sense. I know it's not always this easy, because as I said before, sometimes there's just things that you just have to do and you don't have a choice. But in my opinion, if it's something that you're really struggling to find motivation for, and it's not something that you have to do, but it's something that you feel like you should do, but you really can't ever feel motivated to do it, maybe it's not right for you. Because I think if you're genuinely passionate about something and you genuinely really want to do something and you think it's gonna positively benefit your life, your motivation comes naturally. So if it's like a job or something like that you don't feel like you have natural strive for, and you don't feel like you have natural inkling and motivation to work hard at, maybe look elsewhere, because once you're passionate about something, you will have that. And a third question I got was how to stay positive when everything feels so rubbish at the moment. And I will say everything does feel a bit rubbish at the moment. There's so many horrible things going on around the world. So it's really understandable why people are feeling a bit downhearted and a little bit frustrated at the world, or a little bit hopeless. But I think if you truly want to be able to find that positivity in daily life, you have to acknowledge the negative things first, and see if there's anything you can do to make a change to those negative things. And if there is, make the change, be the change that you want to see, and do whatever's accessible to you to help the situation. So obviously, rightly so, a lot of people are very angry and upset at the world at the moment after the death of George Floyd, and all the injustice and oppression and years and years and years of inequality and violence towards Black people that has gone on and that is still going on. And I think it's really understandable for people to be really down and angry about that, because it's such a disgusting situation, and it's something that so many people just wish wasn't happening. But it's, in a way, I would just say it's good to feel anger about things like that, because without feeling anger and without feeling strong emotion about something, you're not going to want to make a change. And it's clear now that a change is absolutely necessary and a change is inevitable. And so from my point of view, take the anger and upset you feel at the world at the moment and try and use it to fuel you making a difference and making the difference that you want to see from the world. And if you take that anger to educate yourself, ask questions, be coachable, and do what you can, personally what you can, to make as much of a change as you can, it will become positive and it will become a movement towards good. And obviously the world needs that at the moment and always. I've mentioned this in quite a lot of other videos, but I would say maintaining gratitude and listening to gratitude meditations or doing gratitude mindfulness activities is literally one of the best things to be able to feel positive in every situation. And it's really hard to find positivity out of things at the moment, but if you take the tiny things in life that you normally leave unnoticed and you make them into something that's going to make you or someone else smile, then you're doing a great job. Even just saying thank you to yourself, or inside your head, or even if you are a religious person, you're a faithful person, saying thank you to the God that you look up to, it's really good way of just maintaining positivity and maintaining gratitude, even for the smallest things. Even when you're just brushing your teeth before bed, if you just say, I'm so grateful that I have a toothbrush and toothpaste, I'm so grateful that I have a sink with clean water, I'm so grateful that I'm going to be able to get into bed now and sleep. Those small acts of gratitude that you can repeat so easily in your head will become ingrained in you, and you'll end up just becoming so grateful for everything around you. And I think that just boosts positivity so much, because when something bad happens, you're so aware of all the good things that happen, it kind of helps to balance it out a bit. I think that pretty much summarises the questions that I've been asked this week, but I'm more than happy to do more question and answers if people want to see them. And as I always say, I'm happy to talk about majority of topics, so please feel free to send one in if you want me to talk about it, and it will always be anonymous. I'll never mention who's asked me to speak about what or anything like that. So yeah, just feel free to DM me or put it underneath this video. So that is it for this kind of vlog style question and answer kind of video. I know it's a bit of a mashup of different random things, but I'm just kind of getting back on my feet with this and catching everyone up to what I've been up to in the past couple of weeks. So I hope you're all well, as I said before. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for choosing to watch it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!